Welcome everybody. We will wait 2 more minutes for the last people to join because we know there is sometimes a challenge with GoToWebinar. So in 2 minutes past 2, we will start the webinar and everything. So bear with us. Okay, it's 2 minutes past 2. Let's start this webinar. First of all, be aware that this webinar is being recorded. Thank you for joining this webinar from SUSE and Rojo. We will talk today about SAP Integration Suite and Edge Integration Cell on SUSE Ranger. I think we have a very exciting agenda for you. Today we will do a short welcome and introduction of the speakers. Rojo will talk about integration from real-world experiences in transition from legacy SAP process orchestration to SAP Cloud Integration. SUSE will elaborate on how hybrid deployment enhances agility, compliance, and performance, which is critical for achieving a clean core. And in the end, we have Q&A. Throughout the session, you can ask questions in the question mark. You can address it and so everybody can see it, or only to the organizers. And in the end, we will pick out some questions to ask for the audience, and the rest we will also follow up after the session as well. So first of all, welcome. For the people that don't know SUSE, I will talk a little bit about SUSE. SUSE is founded in 1992 in Nuremberg in Germany. That's why we have a close bond also with SAP, which is German as well. Currently, we are headquarters in Luxembourg. We have 40 offices around the world and 2,600 employees plus. We are recognized by Gartner, IDC, and Omdia for performances in leader quadrants. And 96 of the leading companies in the world rely on SUSE in specific industries for the core for SAP, but also for container workloads. At the bottom, you see the link where we have highlighted why SUSE is so strong with SAP. SUSE Linux is the SAP reference deployment platform based on HACK used by RISE with SAP. Edge Integration Cell from SAP runs on SUSE Ranger for SAP applications. SUSE Ranger was the first on-premises Kubernetes platform validated by SAP, and approximately 80% of SAP HANA installations run on SUSE nowadays. And 100% of Business One users run on SUSE anyway. And we have 300 plus successful SAP S/4HANA implementations, case studies as reference and as collateral that we can share with you. So you see why SUSE and SAP have a strong relationship built up from the start, but all over the years. So to the speakers of today, I think we have a very interesting speaker lineup here. We have Asmini Badapatra. I most likely mispronounced her last name, but she's from Rojo, and she's the enterprise integration consultant, and she will take us on the journey where Rojo adds value in the whole journey within SAP. We have Friedrich Krij, also known as Fred from SUSE, and he's the director SAP Markets within EMEA, and he will touch upon the value of SUSE in this whole migration part with SAP. And we have Hugo Karlsen, also from Rojo Integrations. He's the head of sales, and he will explain who is Rojo, but also a little bit about the problem, why the urgency is now to start looking into this change. Over to you, Hugo.
Thanks, Edward. And thanks everybody for attending this webinar today. So let me take over the presentation and we'll run through it. I'll start off with introducing Rojo as a company. There we go. Yeah, so who are we? For those of you that don't know Rojo Integrations, we're a company that specializes in everything enterprise integration. That's meaning we have a deep expertise in the technologies that make up the integration domain. We know all about middleware, event-driven solutions, and API management. So we've been around since 2011, and one of our strategic partnerships is with SAP. So we develop all that third-party connectivity natively in SAP's Cloud Integration. So we build the adapters for all the major applications which need to integrate with HANA, such as Salesforce, Snowflake, NetSuite, Workday, and many, many more. And over the coming years, we will release more than 50 adapters for this platform. And on top of these adapters, which is the technical connectivity, we also build integration content packages. So the business process is running between some of these applications and HANA. And this pre-built content saves customers lots of time in deliver projects faster. So our partnership with SAP extends beyond this part, because we're also providing SAP customers with the official SAP training guides. Our colleagues have written these books for both SAP process orchestration as well as for cloud integration. And next to that, we provide also the official training on behalf of SAP to customers worldwide on these platforms. So for today's topic, you see on the left-hand bottom, you see also we're partner of SAP's Migration Factory, and that's important to understand because we support many customers around the globe migrating from their old PO environment to cloud integration. And because of this close partnership with SAP, we meet many of their customers around the world, and they discuss with us their integration challenges, but also the migrations form a very specific challenge, as this is also an opportunity for them to modernize their integration domain. That means it's applying new technologies such as SAP Cloud Integration, including Edge Integration Cell, which is today's topic, but also Event Mesh and Advanced Event Mesh. So, moving to today's topic, SAP Edge Integration Cell, which is part of SAP's Cloud Integration Suite. Let's get started. So this article, this tells us something about SAP's transformations in the market, because SAP is driving these transformations for both their ERP and their middleware stack. So ECC and SAP PO are both end of life. This article is from March this year, and it reflects on the research done by Gartner for these end of life announcements. The research shows customers are hesitating to migrate to HANA. This is due to the complexity of the existing heavily customized ECC systems they have. And at the same time, the technological advances, they call for customers to modernize. So a good way to do this is applying SAP's Clean Core strategy. There's a slight delay in the presentation, therefore I waited a bit. So the Clean Core strategy aims to modernize ERP systems by minimizing in-system customizations and maximizing the use of SAP standard capabilities available in HANA. In this way, it simplifies for customers the upgrades, it reduces costs, and it supports faster cloud adoption. Customizations currently in ECC are there, of course, for a good reason. But the way forward is not to customize your ERP anymore, but to get a better TCO on your ERP, you have to follow the Clean Core strategy, which is to leverage SAP's business technology platform for the customizations. BTP allows customers to build side-by-side extensions rather than customizing the S/4HANA core. So if you customize in BTP, you can achieve improved performance, reduce TCO, and you align with SAP's long-term roadmap for your S/4HANA backend. So, and our adapters, which are presented in the introduction and the integration content, are a good way to get a better TCO, and it saves companies lots of time to integrate third-party applications. Okay, here we go. So what is side-by-side extensibility? This is a very busy slide, but it is an official overview by SAP. So the key principle of SAP's Clean Core strategy is extensibility. It's the ability to enhance your ERP functionality without compromising the integrity of the core S/4HANA system. So side-by-side extensibility leverages SAP's BTP platform to build extensions outside the core system. So it's using APIs, event-driven architectures, and low-code, no-code tools. So, and in this message, it's important to understand SAP's Edge Integration Cell and the role of it, because the Edge Integration Cell complements the move from SAP PO to SAP Cloud Integration by supporting on-premise use cases. It ensures continuity by handling local integrations previously managed on-prem. So some features for customers to consider SAP CI is customers can start their development integration content in SAP Integration Suite and deploy it to Edge Integration Cell. And the other part is that Edge Integration Cell is not only supporting integrations, but it's also compatible with SAP's Event Mesh and Advanced Event Mesh, meaning customers can future-proof their integrations by starting developing on SAP CI. And with this, I will now hand it over to my colleague Ashwini to further deep dive in how to migrate from SAP PO to SAP CI and how Edge Integration Cell will fit into this scenario. Over to you, Ashwini.
Thank you, Hugo. So I'll walk you through the how the PO to CI migration journey looks like and how Roho can add the value in it in your migration journey, and what is the role of this Edge Integration Cell, which in which cases it can be used in your migration journey. So let's before we move ahead with the PO to CI migration journey, let's look at the CI architecture, how it looks like. In this diagram, you can see the architecture of integration suite, where so many SAP applications connecting to your third-party applications or B2B partners or government sites. And talking about the capabilities of integration suites, we have cloud integration, which allows your process integration. We have API management for managing your APIs, advanced event mesh for your event-driven architecture, open connectors, which helps you to connect to your third-party applications, TPM, which is used for B2B scenarios, migration assessment, which actually helps you to migrate your interfaces from PO to CI. Talking about this integration suite, this is on cloud. Now, at the bottom, you can see we have Edge Integration Cell, which is basically an integration runtime for your local integration, which is managed by private landscapes. That customer will have to manage this Edge Integration Cell. Now, let's see deep dive into Edge Integration Cell. This is basically a hybrid integration runtime in your integration suite that allows you to run your iFlows on premise and while managing them centrally from the BTP. So in this diagram, you can see your integration suite, which is your design time, which is on cloud, and Edge Integration Cell is on premise. That is a customer private landscape where Kubernetes cluster will be used. So whenever you design your iFlow, you can design it in the integration suite. And when you deploy, you have the leverage to deploy it on Edge Integration Cell, and the execution of the integration flow will run through the on-premise system, that is customer landscape. So this obviously, just think about a scenario where the integration, the cloud application, the CI is down. You have this possibility to make the business even run when the cloud is down. So this on-premise will help you in those scenarios. It provides you the cloud to cloud integration, and it also talking about PO, which is on-premise, and Edge Integration Cell also provides the on-premise version of it. So it helps you to reuse your existing landscape of PO content and migrate it to IS with minimal efforts. Now, let's see how your architecture is looking like when you have PO in your landscape. See, this in this diagram, you can see PIPO being the middleware connecting to your so many applications which are on cloud, which are on premise, which whether it is SAP or non-SAP. And PIPO is on premise. And from so many years, PIPO is being integrating or working for your business critical processes, using it based on mapping without transformation with the help of BPM, BRM. But obviously, when we know that PIPO is going to decommission in 2027, I think it's the right time to think about the migration journey, just not because it's a deadline, but also think about modernization or in your landscape, which you can use, whether you have to use event driven, API driven, you have to think about the migration beforehand. So and but PIPO also comes with limitations, like obviously it does not give cloud native connectivity. We have a lot of high maintenance of the infrastructure of PO. And also it does not by default gives you a capability to make it event driven or API driven. So let's see how your future landscape looks like. When Let's take a typical scenario when you migrate an interface from PO to CI. This will be your 2B architecture where you have SAP Cloud application, non-SAP Cloud application connecting to each other with integration suite. And we have Cloud Connector in between, which provides you a secure tunnel from your cloud application to your on-premise system like SAP or non-SAP on-premise applications. Now, there could be a scenario where you have very limited possibility on on-premise system. Like they don't provide you APIs, they don't support OAuth, or there can be cases where on-prem to on-prem integration is there. Why is there a need to the data should go on cloud? In those scenarios, Edge Integration Cell can help you out. So this can be a hybrid architecture where you have cloud connector, where you have Edge Integration Cell, and you can make a hybrid architecture, be it only Edge Integration Cell, be it only cloud integration, or a combination of it. So in this can be helping in your migration journey. So let's take a look at your PO to CI migration approach. This is the SAP migration tool. What it does is it scans through all your PO landscape, all your mappings, all your interfaces, and be it adapter level, your agreements, everything, and gives you a report. Whether this gives in the report, you have assessment category and modernization recommendation. This assessment category, we have three categories which are provided by SAP, which is ready to migrate, adjustment required, and evaluation required. In ready to migrate, these are the scenarios where these will get migrated from PO to your integration suite, and a manual step would be required to make it run. For example, if you migrate a simple example file to file, it will get migrated, but it will not configure your credentials in it. So it is not ready to run. It is just ready to migrate. So those manual steps will be required. The second category is adjustment required, where those scenarios will get partially migrated. There might be some scenario where you have to tweak around or do some changes in your PO interface, then it will get migrated to IS. Evaluation required, this is a category where you have to redesign. There would be cases where it does not even migrate the interfaces from PO to CI. So you have to redesign, you have to rethink how to make it more modernized and how to make it work to get it migrated. This was a part of SAP assessment tool, and this was how what should you migrate. And obviously, with the report of assessment report, you also get modernization recommendation, which is basically how you should migrate. Let's see how modernization recommendation can help you out with the migration journey. These are the modernization recommendations from SAP, where you can see we have integration scenarios. For each scenario, you have modernization category like clean core, event, monitoring and operation security, protocol, and what are the recommendation from SAP. Just to give a idea, this modernization recommendation is just a suggestion from SAP. When you migrate, it does not really help you, or it does not migrate you with this recommendation. So you have to make it modernized for be it manually or automated way, that everyone has to do it manually. So that's it, just give you idea and recommendation. So talking about clean core, just think about how we used to develop in PO. We had RFCs, we had BAPIs. Can we make it a OData APIs? Is there a possibility of, instead of connecting with HTTP adapter, can we use some standard adapters like Salesforce adapter? Or if we have an integration in PO, is there a possibility of connecting or using the standard content which is provided in CI? So you have to think about all these pointers when you are in migration journey. Can we make it event driven? Obviously, we had tightly coupled integration in PO. Can we make it not that tightly? We can make event driven. Or can we think about a more secure way, like HTTP to HTTPS, or if you have FTP integration, can we make it SFTP? So these are things you have to think about while moving it to the migration journey. Now let's see how typical PO migration journey looks like. This is a PO to CI migration journey. These are the steps which will be involved whenever customer is planning to make it a migration plan. First step is assessment, which we saw the SAP migration assessment report, what it gives, what is the modernization recommendation. We got to know what should you migrate, how should you migrate. But main point here is how do we decide the scope? Here we can help you deciding the scope of the interfaces. Like for example, there can be case that interface is not executed for last 5 years. So do you really want to migrate it to CI and create a technical debt? There can be another case where you have multiple interfaces and PO, but when you think about migrating to CI, it can be merged into one or made a event-driven architecture. So this is where we can help you to decide the scope, because there are a lot of questions which you should think before you plan and prepare your journey. Next step is plan and prepare, where we can help you set your governance, setting your naming convention, how your transport should work, everything which is a part of governance. We can help you migration strategy, whether you should do a lift and shift, whether you should have edge integration cell, or whether you should go for modernization. These are things we can help you out to plan. We can help you reducing the efforts. We can help you with the migration cookbook, and what should be the redesign approach. If we have the interfaces in your scope which should be redesigned, what should be the approach for them? And if it's decide the use of edge integration cell or cloud connect or whatever is the DevOps process, we can help you set up of them. Then the next step is migrate, where you actually migrate the interfaces from PO to CI for the ready to migrate category. Just giving a scenario, basic, if we have to migrate a scenario, we need a package, and automatically it does not even give a package for you. So we can help you automatically creating of package. Example, if you have 2000 interfaces in PO, it will take, and based on package, if you decide, it can be based on business process or functional modules, but making it manually will take a lot of efforts from your side. So we can help you automate that. And when you migrate the interface from PO to CI, we have the capability of giving a runtime of cloud integration and edge integration cell if we have a edge integration cell in your landscape, if you decide we need it. Then comes the enhancement. This is where Roho can play a part of reducing the effort or minimizing the, helping you out with the modernization. Like example, a governance, whatever we have helped you to plan, we can automatically rename the artifacts, be it your local integration process or your mapping level, everything we can help you automate. Thinking about exception handling or retry mechanism, this is not how it was standard in PO, but in CI we have to design for based on each customer. So we can help you automate that. It's just a click away. You can add it in the iFlow level. And also we can help you mass migration of the parameters mapping and value mapping. These two mapping not even migrated from PO to CI. So just think about how much manual efforts will be required if you're thinking about the migration journey. We can also help you with making iFlow event driven. And also if you want to add some end-to-end monitoring based Splunk or ALM, we can help you add in the click away. We can also help in the next step. We have deploy, where we can help you automatically deployment in the tenant. We can help you also plan how your DevOps process should look like, how your transportation should will work. And also the next step is test, where we can help you automatically testing of your migrated iFlow. Then let's see the integration governance. Like I said, governance being a very important part of your migration journey. Just think about a scenario. You have 5,000 interfaces getting migrated for any customer, and obviously there would be many teams involved in it. And each developer is developing it based on his or her knowledge, and based a different naming convention. They are migrating, they're transporting to higher environment without any review. So there are a lot of possibility which will be cause inconsistency in your CI landscape. So governance has to be there. We can help you set your development guidelines, which be it your naming convention, be it your versioning, how your transport mechanism will help. What should be the guideline when you are trying to migrate? What should be the design approach? What platform observability you can use for end-to-end monitoring? Can we have automated testing? We can also think about regression testing. Be it any environment, we can run all the interfaces for you at one go and see how many are breaking due to your migration. Also, we can help you identify the capabilities, whether it is event driven or API driven. We can help you add those in your migration journey. Now, talking about EIC in Edge integration cell in your IS architecture, this is how your detailed architecture will look like. You have pre-packaged content. If you see 3,400 plus pre-packaged content. So Edge integration cell also supports this pre-packaged content. So you can leverage the cloud capabilities with the help and run it on your on-prem. The API and event-driven architect, which is the modernized approach. This is also supported Edge integration cell. This we have enhanced security in Edge integration cell, which like encrypted channels or reverse proxy or firewall support. Everything is already there as default. So this can be used in your landscape. And cost efficiency, thinking about the volume, if you know that the cost of your landscape is based on the number of messages flowing in your landscape. So when you have Edge integration cell in your private landscape, it is possible that the number of messages which are flowing via Edge integration cell are counted as 50%. So it also gives you cost efficiency. And talking about the connectivity, one Edge integration cell can be connected to one integration suite, and one integration suite can also have multiple Edge integration cells. So you can also have high availability in your landscape. So this empowers your hybrid integration with centralized control and localized execution. Now let's see, when do we use Edge integration cell in their migration journey? So these are the a few of the cases where you can use on-prem system dependency. So you have legacy systems which does not support on a OAuth or does not provide APIs. And so in those cases, you can go for Edge integration cell. You have some compliance, like example, if you have some personal data or employee data going via integration. So we can keep it on-prem instead of going via on cloud. High availability needs, just imagine you have a hospital interface in your landscape. then obviously even 1 hour of downtime of your cloud may have impact on this. A surgery may get postponed due to the missing reports of the vitals. So this high availability is very important for business critical interfaces, and you can make use of agentification cell and make it high available. And if you have some security constraint or IT strategies to keep them clean core, you can use edge integration cell. And also for high volume or batch processing, if you have IDO processing, which causes lakhs of messages in 1 minute or 1 second. So these interfaces, obviously you don't want your cloud or CI to get bottleneck, or the other interfaces should get impacted because of that. So you can decide, you can use edge integration cell in that case. Now I'll hand over to Hugo to show what is the impact of SUSE and Roho collaboration.
Thanks, Ashwini. Thanks for giving this overview. Yes, so before we hand over to SUSE, what you've seen here so far is the combination of SUSE and Roho, where we've highlighted our partnership with SAP and how close we are to SAP understanding their technology and how to use it. So first of all, to highlight, it's a migration which showed we do the end-to-end offering. So we start with the analysis of PO and also look at all the steps in between to do the enhancement before deploying it onto CI. The second thing, which is good to know, we can also support customers by managing, installing their edge integration cell. This is specifically helpful for companies new to the technology, maybe lack of capacity. So we can help you there to start the integration with edge integration cell and manage it completely for you. As Edward highlighted on the SUSE part, most of the companies run both HANA as well as the middleware on SUSE. So the combination of the two companies makes that we can support you with almost any challenge you have within this SAP domain, because we bring very good expertise to the table. So if there is anything which we can help you with, please reach out to us and we're happy to support you there. We could do, if it moves to the next slide. If you have specific questions about modernizing your existing integration landscape, please reach out to us. You can reach us at hello@rohoconsultancy.com, and we're happy to help you there. Or else leave your contact details here within the webinar. And with that, I will hand it over to Fred to present the part of SUSE. So over to you, Fred. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Hugo. Thanks a lot to Ashwini and Edward for introducing all this great stuff you've talked about. We come now to the SUSE part, where I would like to give just a complete overview of current challenges. So till 2027, customers look into the change from existing ECC environments into SAP S/4HANA, or the POPI to SAP Integration Suite in combination with Edge Integration Cell. And this gives you also the challenge to look into platform decisions. And if you look in the direction to SAP S/4HANA, we see that Linux is there, the platform. And if we look into the direction of Edge Integration Cell, we see, oh, Kubernetes is the platform. Yeah? So it's important for customers who are just facing these challenges. This is important to look at into Linux and into Kubernetes. If we look into SUSE and SAP relationship, small 2 points. First, SUSE Linux is the reference development platform for the HANA development. This is a very important thing for the SAP S/4HANA side. And SUSE Rancher was the first certified, validated on-prem version for the Edge Integration Cell. Here you see really this strong collaboration between SAP and SUSE, and this is so crucial and important for technology innovation. The answer of SUSE for the SAP S/4HANA Linux side is / for sub applications. This is a Linux platform that was or is optimized for the deployment of SAP applications. SLES stands for SUSE Linux Enterprise Server. And the same thing we are doing also for the Edge Integration Cell of SAP is the SUSE Rancher for sub-application. That means that's a Kubernetes platform that is optimized for using it in the SAP context for SAP applications. And we focus now on the SUSE Rancher for sub-application and the Edge Integration Cell thing. We already mentioned first in 2027, SAP will discontinue the maintenance for PI PO. Second, you have to move to SAP Integration Suite. So this is the natural step, so to say. And the third thing is if you want to run your processes locally, or for example, with sensitive data or special data, you don't want to bring to the cloud, so to say, you can use the Edge Integration Cell of SAP. We already saw it in Ashwini's slides. Here is the whole world of SAP integration. You integrate all these SAP apps, so the SAP Concur, Ariba, SAP S/4HANA SuccessFactors. You have specific requirements from governments, why it makes sense to have a SAP integration suite. You integrate your third-party apps, Slack, Workday, ServiceNow, Salesforce, and so on. And you also integrate different standards, communication and data exchange standards on the B2B partners level here. We see also the Edge Integration Cell, and we have a specific Kubernetes platform built to use or for the use to run an Edge Integration Cell and also other SAP applications in the future, because there are also plans to deploy more extensions like the Edge Integration Cell. But this is stuff that will come, and maybe in our next joint webinar we will talk about this. So the SAP hybrid cloud model between the SAP Integration Suite and the Edge Integration Cell, we see that here. The POPI is the point where we come from, and the SAP Integration Suite is where we go to. So we land on the SAP BTP. This is we use the SAP Integration Suite as a software as a service solution. And in this use case here, we have plants, factories, and for example, you would like to run the production control system not on the SaaS level, but you plan it to run it on premise. For this, you could use the Edge Integration Cell of SAP. The second, what we see in the market is that customers are saying we would like to have to send our payroll data via, in Germany, for example, it's called Elster, to the tax authority. So we have to do that directly on premise. We have to operate those data on premise and send it via Elster to the tax authority. We cannot go the way over the cloud. This is not possible. Okay. So that means keeping sensitive data on premise with Edge Integration Cell. This is the topic here. And you see the piece where the SAP Integration Suite represents the software as a service part, and the Edge Integration Cell is, so to say, the on-premise extension. And we have built up a very, very easy setup order for the Edge Integration Cell of SAP. We developed together with SAP a best practices guides, and it's basically built with on 4 levels. The level 1 is just an operating system. So we use here SUSE Linux Micro. This is optimized for Kubernetes environments. Second, we have the Rancher Kubernetes engine. So we have here now the Kubernetes. Third, we need a storage to Kubernetes optimized storage. We use here SUSE storage based, we called it Longhorn in the past. We use Metal LB. Metal LB is for the load balancing of the Kubernetes cluster. Redis is a in-memory database, writing and reading very fast, both things. And Postgres is just a data store. And the 4th level is the Edge Integration Cell itself to implement. And what we did is we So we did the best practices guide. Here on the side, you see point 1 to point 9. These are the steps that exactly describes the, so to say, the cookbook. Which versions do I need? What are my requirements? What is the typical architecture I should use to set up a Kubernetes-based SAP environment? And with point 10, this is the point where we hand over to the SAP routine, to the SAP nodes, how to implement the edge integration cell. So this best practices guide was built between SAP and SUSE to ensure the quality to set up this Kubernetes platform for edge integration cell. And this is highly recommended to use this because it works everything very good. At the end, what we do is we develop, as well as we did it for our Linux platform, we do the same for our Kubernetes platform. That means slash for sub applications, and here is the SUSE rancher for sub applications. That means we build all components together that are necessary to run an SAP application on a Kubernetes platform. We start here again with our SUSE Linux Micro, the operating system environment, our SUSE Kubernetes engine, our SUSE Rancher Prime environment. We have SUSE observability. It's, so to say, a root cause overview of your whole Kubernetes environment. So you see all connections between different components, and this makes it very easy to consume on different business levels. You get your view that you need to make the right decisions. Then you have the SUSE virtualization. This is a platform based on KVM where you can virtualize your Kubernetes-based environment. SUSE storage, I already mentioned. The last name was Longhorn. It's a storage solution that is optimized for Kubernetes deployment. SUSE security to ensure all compliance topics that are necessary from a security perspective. And SUSE app collection delivers, or the goal here is to prepackage, so to say, curated apps that contain no CVEs. So we try to get a high secure environment for an SAP deployment. And all these components together are the SUSE Rancher for SAP applications, Kubernetes platform optimized for an SAP deployment. And if you look here now, it's a it's a lot of pieces here in a lot of boxes, but I try to make it quite simple. The left side here is the SAP on Linux stack. This is the SAP S/4HANA stack, where we run SAP App Server and database servers on our / for sub applications platform. And to harden, scan, or report, we can use SUSE Manager or Multi-Linux Manager. Okay, so these are the components to provide all functionalities and capabilities that are necessary to run your SAP S/4HANA environment high availability, automated, and secure. Okay. Then we see here the blue cloud. It's the subnode 10.5.6.1.6.1 that describes a joint support approach between SAP and SUSE to support SAP on Linux environment and ensure highest speed of resolution times for sub environments. Now we look on the right side of the blue cloud. We see here the edge integration cell. We see here our SUSE Rancher for sub applications perfectly. Private sub event mesh was also mentioned. It can be also deployed private on premise. If you run your cloud native apps, or you look into AI use cases using LLMs training with your historical SAP data, you can run this on the SUSE A platform. SUSE A platform is basically our Kubernetes platform plus AI-specific libraries to provide all components you need to run LLMs to create AI use cases with your LLMs. This is, so to say, the SAP on Kubernetes stack. And if we look a little bit on the last 15 years, we develop or we see the development, the journey from SAP on Linux to the SAP on Kubernetes And that means here are a lot of great use cases, a lot of great deployment options based on Kubernetes. And this will be the future, and we are happy to work here with Rojo together to create a future-proof approach for your Clean Core strategy. So I give back to Edward. Thanks a lot for attention.
Thank you, Fred and Srini. I think we are at time, but let's squeeze in 2 questions, right? Let me look into the questions. I think this is a nice question. I think this is for you, Srini, but what could go wrong if we lift and shift PO interfaces to integration suite without redesign?
Okay. Yeah, obviously you can go with lift and shift. If you think about migrating from PO to CI, you need to understand that PO and CI are not a copy of each other. So thinking about interfaces, do you want to create a technical depth in CI, or you have to think this modernization approach in your migration journey? So lift and shift will save your time. As of now, it will obviously for you the migration journey will be reduced as per the timeline, but obviously you have to think how future proof or how you can use the modernized approach, how you can leverage the capabilities of integration suite, making it API driven or event driven. How these are things which you have to think, because without redesign, it just you are creating a technical depth in CI, with how it will have impact on your CI landscape being on cloud. So you have to think about everything if you are going with lift and shift.
Cool. Thank you for this answer. Let's do one question for let you find one for Susan. This is a nice one for you, Fred. Which Linux platform can be used for the Kubernetes stack?
This is a question I get a lot. We originally designed it with our best practices guide with SUSE Linux Micro, but you can also use SUSE Linux Enterprise Server, or you can also use your existing Linux platform. Maybe you use already in the SAP S/4HANA environment. That's our SUSE Linux Enterprise Server for SAP applications. You can also use that as well. So it is from a security perspective, I have to admit that we have the BSI certification, EAL4+, for a validated supply chain security. This is a very important certification for NIS2 and the Cyber Resilience Act. So for these regulation topics, and we recommend to use SUSE Linux Micro, SUSE Linux Enterprise Server, or SUSE Linux Enterprise Server sub applications. These 3 they contain this BSI certification, this highly requested certification for your security regulations, and yes, these 3 versions can be used.
Thank you. I think we're already over time, right? So I think it's a good time also to thank the speakers for today, and thank the audience for hanging in there with us a few minutes longer. For the questions that were not addressed, we will make sure when we send the follow-up, those questions are addressed in the follow-up. And if you want to look at the recording again, we will also make sure we share the recording with you, so you can look at every little word that we said along the way. Thank you for all. Thank you all, and I would like to end the session here.
Thanks a lot to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.